Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and I welcome everyone to our monthly pitch event for March. This time, as usual, we invited 4 startups and 3 jury members to pitch for our event. Before we start, just a quick words about us and what we do. So we're the host, we're BlockRockET. We are an early stage accelerator program for blockchain startups in Germany. And so what we basically do is, as an accelerator, we specialize on various aspects. So first of all, as I said, we focus on blockchain technology, so startups around blockchain technology. We focus on the German ecosystem. So German startups do not have to be from Germany, but the German market should be of high significance to them. We invest in startups, like usually 100 to 150,000 euro tickets. We provide advisory and mentorship for up to 2 years, so usually for a pre-seed and seed stages up until Series A. And we also help startups with matchmaking and marketing, so getting them in contact with relevant stakeholders like investors or companies, pilot projects, etc. We basically, so in a nutshell, we look for always the next big thing in the crypto space. We think it's a really exciting time, especially at the moment. We expect hundreds of new companies to be founded in the next 12 to 24 months. And we wanted to position ourselves as one of the best entities to spot the next big founders ahead of everyone else. And yeah, so in a nutshell, we received around, like our deal flow at the moment is around 200 applications per year. We have more than 50 startups on our shortlist, more than 5 startups already joined the program, like 5 of them that we also invested in. We plan with 5 to 10 investments this year, have more than 250 partnerships. Basically, we're in contact with the biggest VCs in blockchain in Germany and in Europe. And we also host a variety of events every year. So partnerships range quite well connected, from infrastructure providers, investors, corporates, tech providers, law firms, media partners, etc. And we have a multi-stage application process for startups. So basically, startups can apply to our program online as compared to other accelerators. We have an interview process. Some of the startups that we want to invest in, we also invite them on our events before. And then we do an extended due diligence. Then we decide if we invest or not, and then we also start our program. So, quick example, we have 7 startups in our program actually at the moment. 5 of them we invested, have more than 30 right now on our shortlist active that we have a closer look on. And yeah, so if you're interested, if you're a startup looking for funding, or if you know someone who's looking for funding, then please feel free to point them in our direction. Highly appreciated. If you're an investor, partner, and would like to collaborate with us, feel free to also reach out to us so we can talk about how we can maybe find synergies. And so far, so good from our side. So I would like to just a few announcements for the event. So we have 4 startups. They each pitch 5 minutes and 5 minutes Q&A. We have some extra time, so if we expand a minute or 2 each, that's okay. I will give a quick sign if time limit goes beyond. We do also voting. So we always, for every monthly event, we kind of announce a monthly favorite. We will do this at the very end. And the vote is decided 50% by the audience. So there will be like a live poll function that you guys can complete at the end of the event, and also 50% by the jury voting. Otherwise, we have a Telegram and WhatsApp group where you as the audience can post questions. So I can try to put your questions into the Q&A section as well. So Q&As from the jury, but sometimes it's also questions from the audience. The link is in the email for the groups, and it's also right now in the Zoom chat, but we deactivated the Zoom chat because sometimes we had bad experiences with, like someone trying to hijack the session, etc. Okay, that's it from my side. So now I would like to quickly introduce the jury, and then we already start with our first startup. So I would like to hand over quickly to Patrick from Tioga Capital. Patrick, maybe you can introduce yourself quickly.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Benjamin, and happy to be here again. Much appreciated to have the opportunity to get to know a great pack of startups again, looking really forward to it. Maybe just a couple of words about Tioga Capital, where I'm a managing director. I'm a former entrepreneur turned investor myself. At Tioga Capital, we're a EU-focused blockchain VC. We have our headquarters in Luxembourg, and we have offices in Luxembourg, Belgium, the UK, and San Francisco. We are investing late seed, early A, with a typical investment ticket of around €1 million. And yeah, really looking forward to get to know exceptional entrepreneurs.
Thanks, Patrick. The next one will be Wolfgang.
Yes, good morning. I'm Wolfgang, and senior partner at the Blockchain Founders Group. We're a company builder and a venture capital firm based in Liechtenstein. Currently, we're still flying a bit under the radar, as we've only incorporated end of last year. But that having said, we as founders of BFG are very crypto experienced and have already 16 blockchain investments our belt. And I've personally been in the venture capital industry for over 20 years. I'm very glad to be here again on the jury together with Patrick and Florian, and excited to hear from our pitch candidates how they want to change the world.
Awesome, fantastic. Then yeah, lastly, Florian from Overlook Ventures.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Florian. I'm investment analyst at Overlook Ventures. We are basically the early stage growth fund of Overlook, and Overlook is a provider for core banking software that serves more than 150 banks. And this kind of puts us in the unique position that we can see those banks' needs and we can bring them together with fintechs. And this kind of gives us the opportunity to apply significant leverage for those fintechs that are ready to scale. So for in terms of investments, we focus on and around Series A. Yeah, really looking forward to the pitches. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Fantastic, glad to have you guys. Then yeah, let's get started. So we have first today, we have Julian Liniger from the startup Relai.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation. Let's just start right in. I'm gonna share my screen if that's okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I will roughly measure the time, by the way, okay? So if you exceed by 6 minutes something, I will give you a sign.
Okay. All right. Can you all see this,
Yes.
first slide?
Yes. Works well.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm happy to present Relai, easy Bitcoin investing. So there's a big problem out there that probably a lot of people in the blockchain space already know. The financial system is actually broken. If you want to save money, this is very hard because money gets just printed all over the world, and there are high inflation rates. Monetary policies of Fed and Europe Central Bank is just going crazy. The money printer goes brr, as we say in the Bitcoin space, and so negative interest rates. They're even something that accelerates that more, and also in transparent banking fees, or like you pay like between $5 and $10 per month just to have your money on the account. So bottom line is your money that you have, your fiat money that you have on your savings account is basically melting away and losing its purchasing power, which is not the goal, right? People want to save, so they'll look around and see, okay, what am I going to do with my money? I need to invest my money in some hard asset, in something that preserves my value. And then they look obviously around others at Bitcoin. And unfortunately, it's very hard to invest in Bitcoin for people that are not tech savvy, not finance savvy, people who just are used to easy apps. It's very hard for them to invest. Their tedious onboarding processes can take up to 2 to 3 weeks to get onboarded with an exchange. You have to do all the KYC, AML stuff. You have to upload your documents, your personal information, and then you have to deal with these complex interfaces, and then you have to withdraw it to a wallet, and you have your private key to secure, and everything is just too complicated for normal people. So a lot of people want to invest in Bitcoin, but they can't because it's too complicated. That's the basic problem we want to solve, and we think it's worth solving because only 1% of the world is now invested in Bitcoin, and we believe that basically 100% should be invested in Bitcoin as a long-term savings technology. So how are we going to deal with this problem, or our solution is just to build the world's easiest Bitcoin investing app made in Switzerland. With our app, you just download the app, it's mobile from your phone. Within 1 minute, you can buy and sell Bitcoin. There's no account creation, no registration, no verification, no KYC AML. You don't have to do a deposit with a third party. You can start directly with your own bank account with $10 only. And this is basically how it looks like. You download the app, you open it, you get some screens that tell you, what you can do. And then let's get started. You get your own wallet created on your smartphone. Just takes a couple of seconds, and boom, you can already start. You can say, okay, I want to buy or I want to sell. Let's say I want to buy weekly. You can actually also do automated recurring savings plans. Then what you need to do is put in your IBAN, and then you get kind of an invoice. You pay to these banking details, and done, you get your Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin onboarding experience has never been easier. Obviously, we make money with it. It's quite straightforward as everything in Relai. So we take a 3% transaction fee. There's some brokerage fee, but also some commission we get back. And we also give some commission back to people who refer us. In the end, there's a net margin for us of 1.5% on our volume. Big market for it, obviously. Already now we have a global revenue made from transaction fees of Bitcoin trading of 150 billion. In Europe, it's something around 20 billion. And for us, we think we can capture 0.25% of the European market, which would end up with around 50 million yearly revenue. We're already starting off quite well. If you look at these numbers, you can see it now. So in the last 4 months, we had a monthly growth rate of between 25 and 125%.
You have an echo.
Yeah, I think better now. Thank you.
Now works. Yeah, now works. Sorry, continue.
No worries. And we are doing something around 30K in revenue per month with a volume of 2 million. So 2 million Swiss francs and euros are already invested through our app in Bitcoin. 17,000 app downloads in 38 countries in Europe. So almost all European countries already active relayers. And 5,000 plus 5,000 active users per month, meaning users that do at least one investment per month. This is an exceptional team. I don't think I have a lot of time left to talk about it, but like on the advisor side, people in the crypto space already probably know Bernd Lapp from the Ethereum Foundation, Demelza Hayes from Cointelegraph, and then we have a great CTO that has built the first MVP on his own, and we have great investors on board like Polytech VCs, a popular fintech investor in Switzerland, and Giacomo Zucco, one of the most renowned Bitcoiners in the scene. So, and Jens Leiner, who's probably also a name in the German ecosystem as well. What we are looking for in terms of financing, we're just about to close our Series A, 1.5 million for 15% in equity at a 8.5 million pre-money and 10 million post-money valuation. That gives us another 1 year of runway to do, and a lot of budget to do aggressive market to penetrate the European market further and achieve break-even, so profitability by the end of next year. That's it. Thank you very much. Looking forward to your questions, guys.
It was exactly 6 minutes. So yeah, thanks. Well timed. Thanks for your pitch. Yeah, do we have some questions from the jury side?
Julian, sorry. Should I just go? Okay, Julian, I tried your app and it's really simple as 1, 2, 3. I just wonder, I mean, how on earth are you able to avoid KYC and AML?
So in Switzerland, we work with, or the Swiss government works with limits. So in terms of AML, KYC AML, there's a limit of 1K per day per user that can be exchanged. If it's only a money exchange, you know, I give you euro, you give me Swiss franc, or I give you Swiss franc, you give me Bitcoin. If it's only money exchange business, then up to 1K per day, there's no KYC AML to be made. If you respect certain regulatory requirements, obviously, and one is to respect this limit. Another is we need to make sure that the sender of the fiat money is also the receiver of the Bitcoin, and that's something we ensure with, or both of them we ensure with software. And also we are not allowed to hold the money of the user to an extended time. So we are legally non-custodial. We legally never hold the money for more than a couple of minutes of the user, and that's why it is possible in that regard.
But that means if that changes that legislation, you're highly
then
impacted.
Our USP, in this case, our USP of being KYC less would be gone, yes, but it's highly unlikely. So in Switzerland, we had this, the limit was actually 5K per day until end of 2020. And now it changed because of pressure of EU, it changed to 1K per day in 2021. But that really, that was a long negotiation, and then now this is really fixed for the long term.
Maybe just a quick follow-up question. You're talking about Switzerland. How can you ensure that in Europe?
So it's because the exchange business happens in Switzerland. We can be live with it from all over the world. So our head office is in Switzerland. The money exchange business happens with a broker in Switzerland. So the laws in Switzerland count. It doesn't matter where the people are coming from. So it's like in Germany, for example, this would be legal, but if we're like a Bitcoin ATM, so but just digital. So it's like a German guy comes to Switzerland and uses a Bitcoin ATM, which is illegal in Germany, but in Switzerland is legal. So we can, put in a $100 bill, get a Bitcoin paper, roll it out, and travel back to Germany. That's legal, and that's basically what we do, just in a digital world.
Quick question regarding the security, Julian. I'm wondering how that is covered. Yeah,
so we are a non-custodial wallet. We use the open source framework of the Bitcoin Core for our wallet. So the private key is created without us having access to the private key. It's created and secured, encrypted on the phone of the user. So nobody except the user has access to the private key. And the private key, the user can make the 12-word backup. And with these 12 words, doesn't matter what happens to our app, if we get hacked, if we go bankrupt, whatever, he can go on, and with any other Bitcoin app, it could just initialize and restore with his 12 words, and he has his Bitcoin balance and all the transaction history again. So we are not collecting any user data. We are not having access or storing some, sensible information on our servers. So it doesn't matter what happens to us. It's really the user who has the control, which is, so it's decentralized, and therefore it's very secure. It's more secure than we would hold all of the money of the users, because then if we would get hacked, obviously the money would be gone, and the users with the small balances are way more secure.
And thank you for the clarification. That was very clear. And I also wondered if you could shed a bit more light on the fee structure. So at Revolut, for instance, I can also very easily buy Bitcoin. It's different, it's custodial, etc. So you mentioned there is a 1.5% fee that helps you to make money. You charge 3% to the client. Where are those fees going?
Yeah, sure. So the client, as you said, pays 3%. Out of these 3%, 1.2% goes to the broker, and 1.8% is on our side. On the broker, what is included is also the Bitcoin network fee, the fixed Bitcoin network fee, the brokerage fee, and the spread. So this is all inclusive in these 1.2%. And in the 1.8%, what is inclusive on our side is the maintenance of the app, and the support. So we have high quality, within a couple of hours support, and that's and obviously the convenience, that people do not have to do KYC and have the convenience and privacy. So people are willing to pay for that. And on our side, we also grant a referral discount. So if you get a referral code, then you only pay 2.5% instead of the 3%. And the one who refers the newcomers also get 0.5% on whatever these newcomers invest. So that means that basically we cut another 1% of our income. Depending on our volume, then if we do bigger volumes, we get a commission of our broker of up to 50% again. So that's how we, in the end, come up with the 1.5% in general.
So you seem to avoid banking costs, and I assume you're leveraging then the PSD2 standards, the open banking standards for that.
Not yet, actually. I think PSD2 is not where it should be yet. Like it's not a lot of banks are covered in Europe, unfortunately. We're working with TrueLayer on that. So the idea would be that you really within the app you can make a bank transfer directly, connected to all these banks. This would be the idea of open banking, but unfortunately this is not there yet. There are only like a couple of hundred banks in Europe that are actually doing this. So that's why we're still waiting with that. But so right now, actually, you need to get out of the app and make your bank transfer directly. That's something we're working on. Yeah, it's a good point.
All right, thanks. We need to move on slowly to next startup. So thanks a lot, Julian. Thanks for the pitch.
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoyed it.
And the second would be Ricardo from BlackGull.
Thank you. So I will share my screen.
Yes, works.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So good morning. First of all, I want to thank BlockRocket for giving me this opportunity to explain our use case. I will begin by saying in a nutshell what is BlackGull about. Then I will refer to the specific tangible problems that our startup aims to address and what concrete solution we provide. After that, I will present our full vision and business model and will end by talking about our team and current traction. So what is BlackGull? To answer that with 280 characters, we can say that BlackGull is a digital platform for SMEs involved in international trade, where they can search and connect with trading partners abroad, digitally negotiate and close trade deals, and keep a track record of them, all of it increasing trust, efficiency, transparency, and control. I know it's a lot for a tweet, but of course I will explain the details. So why are we doing this? What is the problem? So in a single phrase, the problem is that small and medium enterprises face significant difficulties when it comes to international trade. First, a problem of trust. For instance, in a survey among US SMEs, finding a trusted partner abroad was cited as the main obstacle for engaging in global trade. Second, a problem of efficiency. So from interviews we made with several SMEs, we found that most of them need at least 4 emails and 3 phone calls to negotiate a single trade deal. So that's very time consuming. Third, a problem of control and transparency. So most SMEs use simple tools like Excel for keeping a record of their dealings, if they keep it at all. And they have a hard time checking what happens at other stages of the supply chain. How does BlackGull address these problems? First, in our digital platform, first can create profiles and connect with each other in the same way that people do on social networks. And they can also find relevant information about them, like sustainability certificates or what they sell and they buy, all of which increases trust. Then the parties can digitally negotiate trade parameters like the Incoterm, price, quantity, and close a contract. And they conduct the negotiation through a single interface, which is updated in real time. So for instance, if I propose a smaller price, the other parties see that immediately in the same interface. Finally, the values of the contract parameters are registered in a blockchain database, in this case, Corda, generating an immutable and auditable data trail. And this data trail increases control and transparency for the trading firms, as well as for third parties. Now I will explain our complete vision, including our full value proposition and our business model. So the first part of our value proposition was already presented. We create and deliver value to SMEs in terms of trust, efficiency, control, and transparency. And how do we capture that value? We do so through a freemium-based SaaS subscription model. But there is a second part, and that part is about the data. More specifically about the value that can be created, delivered, and captured from the data that is generated in our digital platform. And here we can make a distinction. At an individual level, the data generated by the SMEs when they trade in the platform says something about their own performance, creditworthiness, or risk level. And at an aggregate level, the data can be pulled by the SMEs and can become the raw material for data analytics and business intelligence. And who will capture this value? And this is a very important aspect of our vision. The value created and delivered from the data generated in BlackGull is going to be captured for the most part by the SMEs themselves, who are the only owners of this data. And of course, BlackGull will take a commission as an enabler of this data generation. Now I will take the last minute to say something about our team and traction. So I'm Ricardo, the CEO. I'm a lawyer turned into an entrepreneur. Apart from years of experience in maritime law, I've been part before BlackGull in 2 startup projects related to blockchain technology. Thomas, the CTO, has more than 10 years of experience as a software developer in several e-commerce companies. And currently we're looking for a third co-founder, preferably female, who could join us in the area of business development and marketing. Regarding traction, we are a very early stage company, so we have completed the first stage of our MVP, and we have so far 4 user companies testing our product. We recently graduated from the F10 incubator program in Zurich, and next week I will, by the way, we started the project in Barcelona, but next week I will be moving to Hamburg, and I will continue developing the project from the Digital Logistic Hub, which is located in the Speicherstadt. Hope I pronounced that well. So that's it. Now I look forward to your questions and feedback. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for your pitch. Do we have some questions so far?
Yeah, Ricardo, this is Patrick here. Thank you for your pitch, and fantastic what you're going for. I wondered if you could share maybe a little bit more of background on how you stumbled upon this problem.
Yes. Initially, this came from my own experience dealing with some companies, particularly small companies in the Barcelona area that are involved in commodity trading. In particular, I didn't mention that, but now I will say it. We are focusing at the beginning on companies that trade on commodities like coffee, tea, or cocoa beans. So many of them deal with buyers from China or from countries in Asia. And most of them mentioned the fact that it was really complex to get an agreement with them. And they didn't have a digital tool that could actually streamline this process of negotiation. At that same time, I was thinking on developing a solution. Actually, BlackGull was more like that at the beginning. I was thinking of developing a solution specific on trade finance. But then I just realized that first, there are already some well-developed solutions on trade finance in particular, and that there were other specific problems regarding to efficiency related to efficiency that could be actually solved with a digital tool, a tool that could use blockchain technology as part of the solution. So I would say that was the beginning. And I have to admit also that part of the reason comes from my own activity in the academic area. I'm a business school professor, and I am finishing my own PhD. So I was also studying how blockchain technology can change business model in the maritime trade. So I guess it came also from that.
Thank you.
Don't know if I can correctly address your question.
All right. Any more questions?
Ricardo, thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting. I have a question. I imagine if a company switches to your platform, they have the intention to replace their old systems or to replace email. But the question is, are you kind of a closed platform where you can only trade with onboarded companies, or is it also available to handle trades with companies that are not yet onboarded on your platform?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That's a very interesting question, and we have talked a lot about this point. And as of this moment, we want to develop BlackGull as a closed platform in the sense that you certainly need to be onboarded in the platform to be able to trade. That doesn't mean necessarily that you are not going to keep using email when the negotiation gets more complicated. The idea is that you would use BlackGull for negotiations that are rather straightforward, and you would use BlackGull to deal with the same set of companies over and over again. So that's why we are not kind of open marketplace. But we also talk about the possibility of companies inside the platform being able to interact to some extent with other companies that are not inside the platform. I have to say that because we are very early stage, we might actually allow that at the end. And I just want to say something that I didn't mention in the presentation, which is our business model. When I mention is freemium, it means that for the smaller companies to onboard yourself in the platform and create a profile, you can do that for free. Like you can do that in LinkedIn for free. But in order to actually negotiate digitally and create this auditable data trail, then you need to pay a subscription. But you can be a company that is paying premium company that enjoys all these functionalities, and you can interact with free users, because the idea is that the more free users we have, the more information is generated, and the bigger or that would increase the value of the platform.
But building on this, just one last question. I mean, the problem with networks and with platforms is always to gain critical mass.
Yeah.
And that takes time, it takes a lot of money. So what is your plan to tackle that chicken egg problem?
Yeah, very, very good question also. Thank you. I would answer first saying that we are reaching out to a specific supply chains to, in this case, commodities. We are reaching out directly to some companies trying to reach it wouldn't be a critical mass, but a minimum threshold of companies that will make the platform valuable, at least as a source of information about the smaller players. And then we will reach middle-sized companies who could bring their trading partners to the platform, and we will create incentive for the companies that bring other companies to the platform. So the idea is that because you need at least two to conduct an interaction or a negotiation in the platform, then you will have the incentive, of course, if the tool works properly, to bring your trading partners. But I don't have I have to admit that this is certainly an issue, and that it will take time to reach this critical mass.
Okay, thanks.
Any more question? Sorry, Benjamin Zoom crashed, so he will later on join, but I will take over the event. Okay, perfect. So thank you. I would suggest next one is Christopher from Xylene. Christopher, you can start now.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. So hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Edwards. I'm one of the founders of Xylene. Xylene is a space tech company, and we found a great application for satellite data and blockchain to allow importers and producers to build transparent and trustworthy supply chains. We are a team of 2 capable founders, and we've just closed our first pre-seed investment round. We are supported by the European Space Agency, and last year were selected as one of their top 10 startups. We also were the winners of the 2019 Galileo Masters for the application of our satellite technology. The problem that Xylene is solving is the whole issue around opaque supply chains. Us all as consumers are becoming increasingly more aware of where products are coming from and how they were produced. And governments and regulators are bringing new laws and regulations in to force companies to take more responsibility for what is happening in their supply chains. And overall, this is very complex because supply chains are intransparent, they're complex, and visibility is not available. This is where Xylene comes in. We reinvent the way products are being viewed and give them a digital and sustainable life. We work with the 3 pillars of people, products, and industry to bring together into our system to have a traceability of the product flows and information in the supply chain, and create sustainability as an added value for our customers and as a competitive advantage on the market. And at the same time, work towards a circularity as a new way of seeing products. We have developed a system that is a smart data gathering combined with an efficient management of information throughout the supply chain. Our customers, suppliers, work with our mobile app to gather information in their processing steps about products and create digital twins. This information can be easily managed and visualized through a dashboard by our customer. Very important is that we are easy to implement, and we create an accessible transparency for our customers to help them make decisions internally, but also communicate this to external stakeholders, such as customers, but also auditors. And in this way, we enable an easy way to comply with the rules and regulations that our customers have and support their sustainability claims. This is based on accurate and secure data that can also leverage further analysis, such as carbon footprint traceability. When it comes to the implementation, we have an easy 3-step approach. At first, our customers invite their suppliers onto our system and create a supply chain mapping and a supply chain visualization within their network. Then the suppliers start using our mobile app to trace and verify the product that is being sent to our customers and visualize the shipments that have been performed. And this can then be used to communicate to market stakeholders the sustainability claims and the journey of the product, also to customers. But we don't just track any information. When suppliers gather information in their processing steps, such as related documents to a shipment, we use satellite data to verify this information, georeferencing and timestamping these transactions and mapping them out using Earth observation images. And this information gets stored on the blockchain that helps us to ensure that this information is not changed throughout the supply chain steps until it reaches our customer. Our customer has a secure and authentic record of the chain of custody with all the documentation, images, and information that is traveling with the product. We are focusing on the market of coffee, cocoa, cotton, timber, and minerals in the selected region of Germany and Austria. And we see our early adopter market being 600 million euros. Overall, the track and trace market is increasing significantly. By 2024, it is expected to reach a value of $4.5 billion. The business model that we're applying is a software as a service that basically works on the active connections that are working on the Xylene system. We have a tiered model for this, and our customer can invite as many of his suppliers as he wants and only pay for the ones that are really working. What we are looking for is for partners to join our early adopter program. We are working with importers and producers and implement Xylene in a 6 to 9 month duration in their selected supply chains in a very customized approach that helps them build traceability in the first step. Feel free to check out some work we've done. We've traced coffee beans from Ethiopia to Germany, and we've ensured the authenticity of Sicilian olive oil. Now, I'm really looking forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christopher. Then, yeah, do we have some questions at this point?
Christopher, I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit about your revenue model.
Yes. So our revenue model is based on the active connections that are being onboarded onto the supply chain. What we've noticed is that we want to enable as many suppliers to be invited by our customers in order to have the biggest pool of potential traceability actions that they can work with. And in order to perform this, we've chosen a model that allows us to only charge for the suppliers that are actively using Xylene within their supply chain. So how it works is our customers sign on onto Xylene and invite their tier 1 suppliers with the respective supply chains in the background. And once we see the full scale of the supply chain, we can see how many users are really being able to trace the product and base our tiered system on the amount of users that will be tracing this. And for this business model, we are currently approaching a phase where we are testing this with our customers, and we see very open conversations when it comes to the application of this. And this is currently the business model that we are applying in order to reach our revenue goals.
Okay, and you charge by I'm not quite sure what the item is that you charge for. You said you only obviously charge with suppliers that are using the system. So you charge by, I don't know, QR code issued, or what's the basis?
Perhaps I can give you another point of view. I'm Giuseppe, the other founder of Xylene. I'm talking through Chris Mike because we are sitting in the same room. So our business model, it's really, we are a software as a service, and the customer pays only for the traceability that it's provided to him. And in order to have this traceability and this transparency, the suppliers contributes by uploading these documents and uploading information. So it contributes in the data that are fed in the system. And that's why the suppliers gets the tool for free. So is incentivized in using the tool, but then our client, our customer pays only for the active suppliers. So for the one that are contributing in providing data in the platform, so he only pays for the traceability that he receives. So let's say labeling technologies and so on, that's not charged. What is charged for, it's the usage of the system. It's on a subscription level.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just a quick question. My question is, how do you kind of map the value chain? So does kind of the first supplier invite his suppliers as well, or does he enter those documents into the system?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So the first step that we work on is, let's say, enabling our customers to invite their suppliers and start the mapping of the supply chain through the invitation of their tier 1 suppliers. What comes with this is that their suppliers are asked to invite their suppliers as well and move along until they reach the source of the product. What is really important is that we ensure that these suppliers don't have any burden when it comes to this. That's why we offer the system for free to the suppliers, in order to allow them to to use the system and onboard themselves without additional costs.
Right, thanks. And how do you, maybe if a supplier refuses to enter, so you kind of, is your assumption that the customer won't work with him anymore, or how do you mitigate those gaps?
Yes, we developed the system in order to have a really land and expand approach. So everybody along the supply chain can start implementing the system and can cascading this invitation system through the whole supply chain on both way, upstream and downstream. And everybody can start with traceability while the other other stakeholders are gonna join in the party. So it's really wherever you are in the supply chain, our solution can be implemented, and then from there you can expand. And of course, once you start having the benefits of this increased transparency and traceability, you're also the one driving the adoption also to the other suppliers on. So asking for more and more in the let's say reaching at some point the whole involvement of the whole supply chain.
All right, thanks for questions. We need to move on to last step in order to keep within the timeline. So thanks a lot for the pitch.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Lastly, we have Julian from Talium Assets.
Hi everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes, can see.
Okay. So hello everyone, I'm the co-founder and CTO of Talium, and I'm going to present you our Talium Assets platform, which is a tool to build digital assets marketplaces. So what problem do we want to solve? So as you may know, it's very hard to manage and distribute digital assets. Like you have to handle custody, issuance, compliance, security, cybersecurity, scalability, and maintainability. Those problems are very common to issuers and also financial intermediaries that wants to tokenize their assets. So we decided to create a platform to solve once this problem. So what we provide is a SaaS infrastructure for financial intermediaries. We also it's also targeted to issuers, but our main goal is to provide it to financial intermediaries as a white label platform or a white label framework API. So this platform enables financial intermediaries to issue assets, to digitize assets, what is called tokenization, and also to manage their assets. So post issuance, they can do any kind of corporate actions, like for equity, receiving dividends, revenues, and so on. And we also provide a secondary market. So these are the main features of the platform, which cover the full life cycle of the digital assets. So it starts from creating your assets using an asset studio, onboarding issuers and investors, enabling subscription on the platform, handling cap tables, bondholder tables, custodial wallet and non-custodial wallets, executing corporate actions like receiving and sending dividends and coupons and calculating them, and providing a kind of a way to liquidate their assets. So a kind of secondary market, which is actually a built-in board. The kinds of digital asset we can tokenize is very diverse, like equity, bonds, real estate, funds, shares. So, and we try to handle all these very diverse assets life cycles. We provide the platform as a SaaS multi-tenant platform for financial intermediaries. So each client, each financial intermediary has its own tenant, so it's a multi-tenancy. And a tenant is a segregated environment where you have where we can create multiple operations, have segregated investors and issuers, and you can activate or disable these different modules like KYCs, asset custody, and so on. The platform is in production since more than 1 year. These are examples of white label customers that we have. So we are in France, but most of our customers are in Europe and around the world. So what is difficult is to handle multiple jurisdiction, because there are many compliance rules that we have to tackle with. The size of the market is about, the main market that we have is private equity and real estate. Why? Because those markets are the most illiquid markets, and tokenization is, the goal of tokenization is mostly to be able to have, to make these markets liquid. The global size of those markets is about $1 trillion, and we want to only tokenize one portion of this market size. Why Talium Assets compared to, because there are many tokenization platforms, but we think our platform has key differentiator. So one differentiator is the fact that we have very flexible rules, which enables us to handle very complex compliance rules and compliance workflows. For example, if you want to transfer one equity token from one shareholder to another shareholder, you have to be compliant with many rules, European rules, local rules, shareholder agreements, and so on. So that could be very difficult to handle those transferability rules, but that's very much needed, because if you want to provide liquidity, you have to provide a very good automation level for transferability. So for that, we have implemented an on-chain, off-chain transferability workflows engine, which is configurable, self-service, and which is fully self-service for issuers. So it means that issuers are very autonomous to design their own transferability workflows. We try to comply with industry standard and technologies. The platform is very customizable. You can use it as a full stack platform or as an API. We try to be also blockchain agnostic. Right now it's based on Ethereum virtual machine. So it means that we are compatible with about 20 different blockchain protocols, public and private blockchains. And we have, we try to be a very privacy preserving platform. The business model is that we have a fixed fee, which is a function of the asset under management. Asset under management is the asset that you can raise or that you can tokenize. And there is a monthly fee, which is a portion of this fixed fee. This is the team. We are actually not a startup. We are a 9 years old company, but we started this platform 2 years ago, and we are mostly a technical company. So that's former customer that we have. Some customers are blockchain related, other are not. The platform revenue expected in 5 years would be 10 million euros. So it's already in production and already generating revenue. And we want to raise 1 million, not for developing the first version, but to expand our marketing and sales force. And we want also to finance the legal consulting part and the version 2 of the platform, which would be a more decentralized version of this. And then we plan to make our own security token offering. And that's it. Thank you.
Questions?
Hi, sorry, really quick, sorry, my connection was lagging a bit. So before we head to the questions, now I think it's time for, let's do the voting first, because then we make sure, like in terms of transition, it's a bit smoother. So Alexandra, can you activate the poll function? So I would ask everyone in the audience to vote for the startup pitch that they enjoyed the most for today. I would also like to ask the audience, the jury to fill the form that I've sent them right now. We take like half a minute, just to conclude, and then we complete with the Q&A session for Talium. And then in the meantime, we evaluate the scores and announce favorite winner in the end. So just everyone take like half a minute to do your vote. For the jury, like once you're done, see Wolfgang's already done. You can already start questions if you're done, of course.
Okay, maybe. Hold on, am I on?
Yeah, Julian, maybe
yeah.
Question, if you could share a bit more your thoughts about your upcoming go-to-market strategy and how you think you will acquire more customers.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, so our business model is mostly based on financial intermediaries. So it means that we will bill our customers, which are financial intermediaries, regarding operations that they do on the tokenization platform. But that's mostly their job to find issuers to tokenize their assets. So we are trying to actually, we are already expanding our network of distributors because that's we think that it's easier for us to scale not by buying the platform directly to issuers, but to distributors as a white label platform. So we rely as much as possible on our partners for that.
And who would some of these partners be? That
investment banks, funds managers, asset managers, and also we already have many requests from real estate organization that wants to tokenize their assets.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Julian, one question that we're always debating is why is fundraising easier with tokenization? I mean, will people invest just because something has the allure of tokenization, or what is your view on that?
You mean why they want to tokenize?
Well, not why they want to tokenize, but if I had a private equity fund and one would be tokenized, one wouldn't, why would the tokenized one be more attractive?
Yeah, so having tokenized assets is supposed to make assets more liquid because you can distribute it in secondary markets. The other thing is that we want to lower the cost of transferability, which means that when we provide our transferability workflows, you avoid the cost of legal paperwork and so on when we transfer our assets. So it's supposed to make it more liquid.
Okay, but do you already have a venture capital firm using this technology?
Yes. Our customers are mostly in private equity.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, we conclude. Then, at this point, thanks for everyone for pitching today. So it was quite an obvious call this time. It's Relai that has won the vote from the jury as well as from the startup. So Julian, congratulations.
Hey, cool, thank you very much, guys.
Maybe also a bit like some plus points for the simplicity of the product, I guess. Very clear business case to understand. So yeah, so at this point, thanks to the jury, to the startups, to the audience, for everyone pitching. Last words from our side, we have regular events. So we do those monthly pitch events every month. As I said, if you know startups or if you're looking for funding yourself, feel free to apply to our program. We invest up to 150,000 euros in early stage startups. Also, big announcement, we have a huge panel event planned for the 8th of April. So mark your calendar. It's going to be about NFT. It's an NFT panel. And we have some fantastic speakers that are already confirmed. So we're going to have Chainlink. We have Alex from HTGF. We have two of our startups, Arcane, Licensed Rocks. And we still have two more speakers to be confirmed, great speakers. So mark your calendar. It's going to be online, accessible for everyone. And yeah, if you have questions or looking for funding, then feel free to reach out to us and hope to see you soon again. Thanks, guys.